Welcome, Rowe. I am Allie, the head editor at Starwave. Thank you for talking to us. We want to learn more about what you've been up to following, a lot of things you've been up to lately, to be honest. So, do you want to give a little introduction on yourself, where you're from, what you do?
Yeah. So I'm Ro. I'm a pop punk slash power pop artist from Indianapolis, Indiana. Uh, and yeah, like you've said, I've done a lot recently, and there's only always ever more that I have to do. So
So we put out at the beginning of the year your Say What You Mean review. How was the response from that following? Because I know you had a show on Valentine's Day, kind of a little bit like time buffer in between that for people to learn it. Like how did
yeah.
things go?
I mean, it went well. The response
We
was
love it
yeah.
personally. I mean, I do. I love it
The
personally. Maybe biased
the
there, but that'll be the bias only.
the overall response has been great. It's been a pretty like fast growing song, so
That's
I've
great.
I've
Congrats.
been proud of that. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely, as you should be.
Especially live, it seems to go over well.
Yeah. I feel like it's a very I feel like I'd be dancing. You know the reels where it's like these are my pit moves.
Yeah,
Like that's me with that song.
yeah. Like I definitely enjoy playing it live. It's actually
Hmm.
weirdly one of the slightly harder songs to play and sing live,
I
just
was
because
gonna
of the way I've
ask
written it.
because it's fast,
Yeah,
but not like, you know,
it's kind of at
break
this
your
weird.
brain fast, but
Yeah.
like it's a high energy song is what I mean, like
Oh yeah.
so, but also that brings like good and bad sometimes.
It's like by the end of it, I'm
uh
always just like, oh, why did I ever choose to put
Water
this in the
now.
set list? Like,
No, I totally understand that. At the Valentine's Day show, who all was with you again?
it was me, Macian, and then Radio Flower.
Okay, have you played with them before? Was that your first time playing with them?
This was my first time playing with them, but it became like a very quick like friendship. Like I know we all got
That's what I was
together.
gonna ask. Yeah, is
Yeah, like
how did it go if, you know, your what, first time?
yeah, I mean it was great. We all got together one day and made like this big video to promote the show. And it was a
Yeah.
really fun experience because it was just like, oh, okay, I don't know these people, but I'm gonna have to get really comfortable with them. And thankfully it was
Yeah.
like super easy with all of them. So
That's always such a relief. Combining with creatives can either be, just exactly what you described or, chaos. Well, not, it's always chaos with creatives, but you know what I mean.
yeah, it's either really good or it's really bad. Like
Yeah. So that's good. That's good. I love seeing just even bands that you are with, since connecting with you. There's so much been going on. I'm like, how do I keep up with Row? How do you keep up with you?
oh, I mean, well, since I am the one that has to deal with all of it, it is just like at least
Or no, are we still gatekeeping via Instagram?
uh,
Real?
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
I
totally
like
understood.
I like to try, but at the same time, it's also just like,
It's
man, the
just like
past
find me.
yeah,
The
like
people need to find me.
the
Yeah,
past
that's
week,
who we
I've
are.
now gotten like just so much, and I'm just like, oh, I have so many things I need to do, and I've already got so much stuff planned.
That's how I feel even as like an editor and like creative. My emails, like I mean, I've been a photographer for, forever. Like, I never get my emails over like 20 maybe in that account. Being busy, like does it make you feel better staying busy with doing what you love? Or do you feel like you have an even balance of like, I mean, I don't want to call it work, even though it is work, you know, because I get that too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I try to strike a pretty good balance because like this is mainly what I do day to day. If I
Yeah,
need money from somewhere else, I can elect to go and do that. But like I know like yesterday I did a photo shoot to work on like covers for uh
awesome.
the
Yeah,
EP I've finished up recently, and at the same time then like later that day I got a delivery that's like all the new shirts I'm going to sell at the next show. And
yeah,
it's like I've I've got them open and I've checked them to make sure they're all good, but I'm also just sitting here like I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to
yeah.
organize them and put them away. So that's gonna be another
Like there are
day.
other things, you
Yeah.
know.
Like after
Yeah,
this, I have to film a skit to promote like a show that I'm doing because I earlier this
I love.
week, like one of the guys at the venue reached out to me and was like, "Hey, so how's it going with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, this, and this, and I should have this video out on Friday." And I'm just like, I have to do that still. That's right. I have to film, edit it, and then get it all ready. And it's like, okay,
Totally understood. That's good though. You're finding the balance though that works for you.
yeah,
So, with that being said, though, you do have some shows coming up. Would you
yes.
like to talk about them?
I mean, there are a few things there.
Yeah.
The two shows I have announced now, the first
Yeah.
one is April 3rd at the Hi-Fi with Belmont and Young Culture, which even to this day,
Yes.
I'm still like, I don't know how I got on that show. I just woke up one day and someone had sent me an email. I was like, yeah, sure. Like, why not? I guess. I feel like
Yeah.
there were probably other bands you could have asked, but I'll do it.
I actually just saw both of them working for the house at Metro. Huge young culture fan here. Have grown up in the Chicago scene, so definitely know Belmont for a long, long time. And yeah, so that is a fun opportunity. I guarantee you will have a blast. They
Oh, yeah.
have all nothing but nice words to say
And
from what
then
I
outside of that, the only other show I have announced at the moment is May 8th at Healer with Cat and the Hurricane and November Swim Club. And
I was gonna ask about that one.
yeah, that one's
Are you
exciting for me.
Yeah, because they're on tour, right? So
Yeah.
are you like just like are they kind of like picking local artists like as openers
Yeah.
type of thing? You know,
Yeah.
okay,
Like
that's kind of what I assumed.
I got that
That's awesome.
email from like their manager a few months ago and they were just like, "Yeah, we're trying to like plan this out in advance." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll hop on that show. I got no problem with it."
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh and then like I know we announced it the other day and that was fun
Yeah,
because
I
I
actually
was a
just
few
saw
hours
it
late.
like I think yes, they're probably technically today, but like last night. I was
Yeah,
like, oh cool.
I was like, I got back from the photo shoot. I was like, and I opened up Instagram, and that was the first post I see from them. I was like, oh, that's right. I need to announce that because
You're like, oh yeah, I have this show.
I've been up since 6 a.m. and like I do not do that, and I'm barely functioning at this point. I'm so tired, and I'm just like, hang on, let me make a post real quick and schedule it so that in a little
Oh my
bit
gosh.
it just goes live. I like hardly ever send like personal emails. And so the only time like I ever send back emails, it's always for like business. And it's so funny
Yeah.
because like I'll be like, all right, what do I reply? And then I just scroll down a little bit. I'm like, all right, we got these auto-generated replies. I'm just gonna hit that and hit send, and that's my end of the equation done.
As an editor, if any other editors or if anyone watching, that's how I feel with Live Nation. When they ask me to say approved, I don't know if it has to be in all caps. Sometimes I get scared because they're so tricky. The auto generator, sometimes when you're in a rush and it's just like, yeah, I'll get that back to you or whatever, like, or even if you start typing and it like gives you the little like, I'm like, thanks. I didn't know I needed that, but I did.
Yeah, I think like all of mine basically default to just like the first one that always pops up whenever someone like sends me an email that's like, "Is this good?" I'm just like, "Awesome, can't wait." And that's like the first one that
Yep.
it pops up. I'm just like, "All right, there we go, done."
with that tour, what do you expect or the show that you guys selected to be on with the tour? Have you played there?
No, and I've
Okay,
been trying to find like a good show to be on at Healer. And so like when I got that
okay.
email, I was just like,
Maybe this
yes,
is
like
the
yes.
one.
Whatever it is, yes, I will take it
Yes,
because
yeah.
I need to get in there.
With that being said, like, because everyone has their dream venue for whatever profession. I feel like they're, well, maybe not whatever profession, but most professions in the music industry, like everyone has their dream venue, but well, why say yes to the artists and that tour?
Well, I mean, outside of wanting to really play a show at that venue because it's like one of the few venues in Indianapolis that I like have never gotten to play at. Uh it's a lot of it has to do with it specifically being Cat in the Hurricane because
Okay.
they're immediately going and looking them up and seeing that like it's an all trans band. And I'm like, all
Hmm.
right, sick. I'm gonna love this either way. Like
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
gonna be great. And yeah, absolutely, I will play a show.
I so desperately wish like Indy wasn't either far from me or we had Indy photographers because oh my gosh, there's so many of your shows and that one when I saw that I was like,
It's also so great because out of like all of the out of state bands that I've played with, this will be this show will basically make Madison, Wisconsin, the city that I've played with bands from the most out of like anywhere else. And I'm just like,
wait, so
all
they
right,
are from Madison. Okay, I
yeah,
that's probably how I knew them. That makes
yeah. And like
uh
every time like I see a new band on like Instagram that I want to
mhm.
follow or I get a new one, it's like I swear it's like 75% of the time it's just Madison, Wisconsin. I'm like, damn, what is everyone doing in Madison? They're all making bands and just having a great time
I
up there.
Yeah, honestly, I wanna now that you say that, actually I wanna look more into that. What are you looking forward to most out of like both of these shows?
I mean, I think just at least for both of them, since they're kind of both very different audiences,
Yeah, that's
uh,
what I was gonna say.
like definitely sharing it with two different audiences that hopefully will both be very receptive to my music. That's kind of one of the great things about the way that I write is that it's like I kind of have a bunch of different little parts in different sounds. And so like whatever show I play, there's always a group of people that are like, okay, wow, I really like this. And I'll go and play another show and it'll be an entirely different group of people who like have very much the same opinion on the same songs.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say is like even lyrically, like I feel like either way, you're a very relatable that sounds cheesy, but you're so relatable. No, like but that is like important though in music
Yeah.
because if music has no meaning, then
But
say
what's
what
the
you
purpose
mean,
of why
right? Say
this
what you
exists?
mean.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I love that. That's kind of why I asked is because it's two very different lineups that
Yeah.
you got coming up, and I was a little interested on kind of if there was like any reasoning to either or whatever. So yeah, that's really cool. And now I'm gonna have to look more into Madison and their scene. Is there anything we don't know about that you maybe can't tell us, but hint at?
Uh
Okay, you talked about the EP.
yes.
Is there a release date, maybe?
There is. I'm waiting a
Okay,
little bit longer
share.
to
Okay,
bring it up.
that's okay.
I'm hoping to have everything at least kind of ready for it by the end of this month so that I don't know. I've considered doing some form of announcement at the Belmont Young Culture Show, but who knows? I don't know. I'm in the middle of
See,
still planning on how I want to roll that out. And so I'm like, I've
no,
got a general date and I know when I want to release it, but how I want to announce it and how I want to go about that, it's
A
like,
little crossing the T's and dotting the
yeah.
I's type of thing. No, totally understood and no pressure there. Just curious. But that is very exciting. We will definitely be looking forward to that and keep us in the loop on that. Is there anything more really that you're planning show wise?
I did get an offer for a show in August that I have not done much with. It's on my to-do list. I actually reached out for some more info on it today, but I mean, fingers crossed that I can do it because it would be fun and exciting. It would be
Yeah,
my first out-of-state show for this project. So
I
I,
was just gonna ask, is it somewhere else? I'm getting the vibes. Is it by chance closer to Chicago or a different
yes,
direction?
yeah,
Chicago?
it is in Chicago, and I'm
I must have
stoked
felt
about
it
that.
in my bones, guys.
And I'm like,
Oh my
as
gosh.
soon as they were like, yeah, it's in August, I'm like, okay, that's plenty of time to convince
Yeah,
everybody, get all the logistics done for it. Like, I
yes.
am,
No, that's perfect.
I'm ready to like make that jump into doing more stuff like that. Uh, it's just,
Chicago loves finding new local artists,
oh yeah,
like, and even if that's not like local to them, you know?
oh yeah. Like, and I kind of like realized that when I was going out and following more people with the Row account, and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
I should add Arcadia Gray because I had them on other accounts and everything, and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, because I remember seeing them a bunch in like Indy
yeah,
and like around the Muncie area, and then I'm like, wait, they all like moved to Chicago, and now they're just like
Hoosier
a
or
Chicago
something.
band now, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and that's like when I asked you, like who took the photo, for our Instagram post, and you told me, and I was like, oh, okay. And I, DM'd and answered, absolutely, of course,
Yeah.
it's a small world, but so
Oh yeah.
big, like
Like
so big.
I I don't like a lot of the shows that I play, like I feel like I never end up like seeing any of the people there, like either for a long time or just like ever again. But then like I think after I played with the Lake Drive show, I went to go see Knocked Loose at Old National Center, and I was like out in the lobby at one point, and someone walked up to me and they were like, "Did you play this
That's
show?" I'm like, "Yeah."
so
Like,
insane that you just
how are we both here? It's like that show was nothing like what we're doing here now. Like, what are the chances that both of us end up at this same show?
That is so funny because the same thing happened to me and our co-editor. At the Knuckle Puck Copacetic hometown show. I don't know if you know Rare Candy.
Yeah,
Post. Yes, okay.
I actually that it was like I
So
think
yeah, I
before I ever
ran
met.
into Alex and my partner told me in the pit, like Alex is here, and I was like, what? What?
That
But yeah,
was like,
like, there were so many people that just, like the one time we're not working, everyone is like there. Yeah.
yeah, like I know it's actually funny because before I ever ended up like seeing Belmont live, in my last band, we played a show at this place called Square Cat Vinyl, and it was wild because I'm like, all right, I know of Belmont, and then everyone was just like, oh yeah, Rare Candy's playing that show. I'm like, isn't that? Oh yeah, it is. And so it's
Alex
like,
is not
I
with Beaumont anymore.
yeah, it's like
But yeah,
I met
um,
Alex, I think before I even
that is how I
saw
met him
Belmont
as
in
well.
Indy, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like all right,
Yeah.
cool. But no, like I remember absolutely loving him and all the Rare Candy songs that
He
were
is
played
the
there.
kindest. I have a tattoo for Queen of Autumn.
Hell yeah.
He is just doing a bunch of things too. And so I was like, neither of us are working. Like what? What is this? So yeah, it's nice to connect with people that like, whether you work with, like compete with, whoever. I don't really feel like I care about competing, to be honest, as a transparent level. Like, that is what Starwave and myself is about, is just like take us as we are, and we
Yeah.
our hard work out, and we hope you guys like it type of vibe. It's nice sometimes to see like either old friends or new friends just out of the blue. That actually happened to me last night at Lolo as well at Beat Kitchen. So yeah.
No, I completely get it because like I very much try to be the same way. I think when I was younger, I was a lot more competitive, and
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm in such a position where I'm just like, I don't know. There's no one else really in the area that I have found yet that sounds like me. So I don't feel like I have competition. I'm just alone and hoping that people end
Yes.
up enjoying it.
I can relate to that so much on a personal level there. Like, I'm just kind of doing my own thing. Like, as the editor-in-chief of Starwave, I am younger than most of our contributors. It's not a lack of knowing what we're doing, age or experience amount, whatever it is. Like, it really just is the passion for it. And like,
Yeah.
that's what matters. And like, we're all about, I think I'll end with this because I just looked at the time and didn't realize I am a yapper. I apologize.
I'm the same
No,
way, so I get it.
yes, no, it was good to talk to you though. Is there anything more you want to highlight
I mean,
that,
not really at the
you
moment, other
okay,
than I'm just doing so much.
yes, okay, then stay busy and stay safe. And if you come over to Chicago, we've got about half our team around there, so let us know.
I will.
No, but safe travels there too if you do head there in August. But otherwise, we will be keeping an eye out on that EP release from ya. We at Starwave strive to push the boundaries and expectations of any kind of art, whatever that may be. As an artist yourself, or and specifically within like the expectations that are put on us, um, how do you feel you exemplify that in what you do? Because we can see it, but I want to ask how you feel it.
Um, I mean, weirdly, I like don't actively feel a lot of pride in what I do, and maybe that's just because I've done it for so long in that way that it's like I can sit down, and if I have an idea for a song, I can write a song. If I have an idea for a piece of content, I can write it down and understand how I need to make it. And so it's funny because it's like I do so much, but I almost never talk about it because to me, a big part of
It's
it is
just
very
so
much
little,
like,
maybe.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
I'm such a person of like, well, this is just what I do. Like
yeah.
I
That's
personally don't feel like it's an extraordinary thing that I do. I'm just like, this is just what I've always done. I just now have full control over every
I
aspect of it. And that's
totally understand that.
like it's
um,
I think the biggest thing I can like gloat about like recently is like, oh, okay, cool. I think I'm probably the youngest person in my family that at least like I'm blood related to that like has gotten approved and now officially within the state like runs a business. And
that's
like,
awesome. Congratulations. That is not like a little thing. Like that
yeah,
is a big thing. Like, and that's another thing is like when creatives have been doing things for so long, we tend to knock like things like that to
yeah.
be like just like, oh, I should have done this years ago. Like I still don't have an LLC, like for my photography even.
Thankfully, like the thing that really drove me to do that for Rowe was having worked at the Hi-Fi, which is where the Belmont Young Culture Show is. I,
Okay.
I knew because like I had asked and they were like, "Oh yeah, this band can't sell merch because they're like not under an LLC, so like we can't give them a tax form." And so when I got approved of that show, I
Gotcha.
was like, "I have to make Rowe an
Yeah.
LLC if I want to sell merch, or else they're not going to let me."
Yes. No, that's so smart. I love even as like a photographer and not editor, like going out and like chatting with security, besting it up or whatever with
Yeah,
them and then learning like all the tips and tricks. Like I'm not gonna go pay $3 at the bar for water when they will give it to me for free or like that's like a little trick for me, but that's just because I'm chronically dehydrated and they know that. Learning those little hacks along the way in any position, whether that be at a venue or not, that shows maturity, especially with you saying you being the youngest, like business owner in your blood family, because you taught yourself how to do it with the
yeah,
little things you learned along the way. So,
oh yeah.
yeah, it shows like a lot. I don't have anything else to ask except I have one more thing to say, and that is good luck with your upcoming shows.
Thank you.
And we're excited to hear the new EP.
Yeah,
So, thank you for talking with me. It was really nice to officially officially set this interview up. It has been a long time coming and I'm glad we got to do this.
of
So
course.
thank
I'm
you
glad
so
too.
much.